This game is called Scarecrow Scurry. Now this game can be played in small groups or it can be played with the entire class together as one. You'll want about 8 feet of space in your classroom to play this game. If you don't have that kind of space, you could just make it a little bit shorter, play with about 6, or you could play with in the hall if that's something that's allowed. You'll want to set this game up at 2 desks or at a table at 2 separate ends. And the table or desk you use, you're going to want to have that 6 or 8 feet of space in front of it for the students to walk around. Where you set it up on the desk or the table, you're going to set one of these tree mats up at each spot. Then about 8 feet from there, you're going to set a chair in front of each of the mats that you set out. And on each chair, you're going to empty one of these mesh bags of fall supplies. When the students who are playing come to play the game, you're going to divide them into 2 teams. You'll have each team stand in a single file line, and you will hand the first student in each line one of these cute scarecrow sticks. The students, when you say go, will be picking up items from the chair, balancing them carefully on the scarecrow, and walking them across the room, careful not to drop them, and onto the game mat. Now, if one of the items drops, the student simply has to pick up the items that dropped and go back to the start line. Now, the students can choose to pick as many items as they want up to balance on their scarecrow to get it across the room. Because this is a race to see which team can get all of the items across the room and onto the game mat first. However, if they choose too many items, they're going to fall, and then that will ultimately slow them down because they'll have to start all over. So it's a game of strategy. The team will have to decide how they want to approach the game and how many they'll want to try to get over each time. If you're playing with small groups, you may want to remove a couple items if it's taking them too long so that the game goes a little bit quicker and there's not as many objects to get across the room. You can play as many rounds as you have time for. Switch up the teams each round to keep it interesting. And one rule that you have to remember, each team has to have each team member move at least one item across the room. So you can't have 3 students that are moving everything over. If one team gets all their items onto the game mat, but they have a teammate that didn't get any, that team is disqualified. They have to figure out a way to include everybody on their team in order to qualify to win. Have fun.